Hi you guys, what's up? Angela Mott here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to this channel, you've probably been following me along on my journey from different things, from hair care to lifestyle to fashion, a whole bunch of different stuff. But I invite you right now, if you're watching this video right now, you're probably someone in their 20s struggling through something, whatever it is, whatever life may be throwing your way. This is something that I wish people told me about in my 20s. This video right here. This is a list, a conversational monologue pretty much of the things I wish somebody told me about my 20s. Things that I wish I knew I had faced and maybe I possibly could have dealt with things in a different manner. Thank you guys so much for joining, subscribing, sharing, and liking. It keeps my channel running. It keeps me going. So thank you guys. Also, if you also saw my ancestry DNA journey, I'll be doing a follow-up video to that sometime this year. So go to it, leave a comment. I found out some cool stuff about my family history, and I think you would think it is interesting. But let's get started. So I'm 30 now. I'm now officially considered a big bro. As you see right here, this is the chart what age to call people at different times. I'm now considered a big bro, meaning I'm out in my 20s. I'm now considered a 30 and up category. Typically, 25 and up is mush into one thing. You talk to anybody under the age of 25, but I'm a 30-year-old now, and I'm proud of it. I look good, I feel good, and these are some lessons that I think that people pretty much would appreciate my experience in, because it might give some insight. Here's the first thing I wish people told me about in my 20s, preparing for my 20s. The first thing is everybody has their own timeline. That's the first thing I wish I knew. It's so easy to compare yourself and see everyone around you kind of skyrocketing in their careers, skyrocketing in these successes. Social media is a liar. That's one thing to realize and remember. Social media is a liar. People only post the good things. And those who post the bad things, they're being transparent. However, people that post their entire experience and their journeys about what they go through, unless you're watching a YouTube channel. So keep that in mind. Everything you see on social media is a facade. People are only posting good moments of their lives and snippets, and they're curating it to make it seem as if their life is perfect. But understand that when you see people's posts, they're not always trying to make it seem as if like they're doing the best they can or they're doing everything. Sometimes people really are just like sharing their happy moments with the world because it's good news. It's a milestone. It's this and that. But sometimes we, going through the motions, trying to figure our own stuff, we can't help but look and see if the grass is greener on somebody else's side. When we should be focused on our own grass, and that every grass has to be watered, and that it's not always just green from the start. This was a huge lesson I think that I had to kind of take in strides. Social media in general. Me being 30, I was on Facebook heavily growing up. Before that was MySpace, but that's another story. I was on Facebook heavily. And Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat were like the big main three social media platforms when I was growing up, and Twitter, also Tumblr. But the main platforms people love to post are their accomplishments. And that's kind of hard to look at sometimes, if I'm being honest, when you're trying to figure out just what you want to do. I'm saying this right now. Before jumping to the end of another story, you still probably don't know what you want to do. I do know what I want to do. However, it took me a long time to get there. Everybody has their own timeline. People are having babies. People are getting new jobs. People are doing different hobbies. You and what somebody else has going on has nothing to do with your personal growth. And it also doesn't mean that things can't happen to you. Just because somebody else is achieving something sooner than you like to achieve it, or the goal that you may have in your heart may be set, and somebody else may accomplish that goal in a short amount of time. At the beginning of my early 20s, I set out on my modeling career. And it was something I was very passionate about, something I really wanted to do. It was very, very, very hard. I went to a lot of casting calls, a lot of open calls in the city, a lot of train rides, a lot of money spent to maybe get a no or maybe get a yes. I walked in one show. I got featured by a few brands, Forever 21, H&M. However, that's pretty much where my modeling career as soon as it started, it kind of ended. It was a lot of work. And like outside looking in, people thought it was really glamorous. That like that's how I was doing, and like, you know, I kind of just made it big because I was being active in that and they see me in places, but that's not the reality of it. It was very, very hard, very, very tedious, and it took a lot of me. I kind of lost my identity a little bit in modeling as well. Um, at one point, I kind of was like following what the trends were to see what people wanted and what agents and agencies were looking for. However, what brought me to modeling was my own self, my own desire, my own care for fashion, and my own thought process about what I think fashion is supposed to be and what it represents. And that's art. Um, there's such a thin line between art, mediocrity, and fashion. And I feel like sometimes, you know, during Fashion Week, you can see how that mixes. But you could tell me anything when it comes to clothes, when it comes to putting pieces together. I think it's very much an art form. And if you love fashion, you understand that. But the whole, all right, I get an agency, I get booked. That does not happen the way you think it happens. And that was my first realization that everybody's timeline is not the same. And the way you think things go and the way they work for some people may not work for you. Or it may work for you, but it also may not work for you. So you got to just try some different things. And you have to also just remember that people's timeline is their own. And you're never too old. No matter what things look like, you're pretty much told in the modeling industry that if you're under the age of 25, you can't do it. Like, you're too old. If you're over the age of 25, you need somebody who's young, fresh, different. And it's funny because different is very much the same, where you're molding yourself to look like what's already out there. How do you identify yourself to be unique if you're copying what everybody else out there is doing? I was told from watching some like going to some modeling classes and also doing some trainings, mimic success. Follow somebody that you want to see and kind of follow that plan. And that actually is helpful. However, when you kind of get lost in who you are, it's time to take reel it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you gotta take a chill pill on that. When I realized I was losing myself a little bit, I took a break and I just kind of focused on what are my goals? What do I want to do? Where do I want to take this? What's my minimum? What's my maximum? How far can I get? And how serious am I about this? If I don't have support, will I keep going or will I just let myself fail? And I have to say this. I failed, and I failed in the best way possible. No, my modeling career did not take off. No, I didn't land any huge deals. But I did have a lot of fun. I met a lot of great people who are still modeling today, and a lot of them are doing really great things. And it's something that I do want to revisit again, because you're never too old to start. That's the one lesson I wish somebody told me. And this is going to be the first video in the series of what I wish I knew in my 20s. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, you guys. But I wish that somebody told me that you're never too old to start. Whatever it is you're doing, whether that's graduating college, whether that's starting a new career path, whether that's pivoting to a different outlet, you're never too old to start. Some things require education, but there's a lot of free resources out there. YouTube University is the best place to get an understanding of things that you probably would learn in school. I did graduate college. Some people didn't. Some people didn't go to college. It wasn't an option for them. And it wasn't financially the best decision based on their circumstance. Do the best you can with what you have. College is not for everybody, but it does make a difference. And it does set you apart from certain people. And qualifications, it ranges. There are things you may want to learn that you may not learn in college, and that's okay. And no matter where you're going, it's never too late to start. So with understanding that, I know that modeling is always going to be there. There are always going to be brands that want to use models for attention to a product, a place, or an event. So I know at my big age of 30, my big bro age, the modeling is always going to be there. And just because I'm not 25 anymore, it doesn't mean I'm not handsome. It doesn't mean I don't have the it factor. It doesn't mean that I'm not important and that my existence is nothing. I'm somebody. I'm me. I love who I am. And I love who I'm learning to be every single year. The one thing that I learned, the huge thing, is that I'm not the same as I was last year. My goal is to always try to be better than what I was yesterday. So every single day I try to be better than what I was yesterday. Not trying to up myself, but more so try to be a better person. What's going on the inside? Because that reflects on the outside. You're never too old to start. Everybody's timeline is their own. What your friend has going on for them, be happy for them. And if you can't be happy for them, don't be happy for them in your own space. Don't sit there and make somebody else's accomplishment a downplay because you didn't get to where you want to get to just yet. Support them. Because again, you know who you may need. Networking is a big thing. However, learning how to be content with where you are at and whatever journey you're going through is such a huge help to your own mental psyche. This is what I wish somebody told me when I was in my 20s. Focus on yourself. Focus on the present. Don't be anxious for anything. Don't dwell on the past because you can't undo the past. You can make it right by your actions today. My next segment, I'm going to talk about picking a career after graduating because there's so much in that realm from where you go from high school to picking a college career, and then in college, it not really turning out the way you want it to turn out. If you want to listen to more, subscribe right now, like, share, and we're going to delve into some deep topics. But I'm here to help, and I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. Thanks so much. Like, subscribe, share. Peace.